I thought I'd managed to get away with not going to this apparently horrific truck accident. I'd only recently moved to a higher patrol section on the coast, which was probably a decent 35 minutes drive to where this accident happened. Had I been at the station I used to be attached to, I would have been one of the first ones there. What had happened was a truck had come over a crest in an 80 area, coming into a township, and all the traffic was stopped by the stop-go people working on roadworks, and this truck driver didn't even hit his brakes. He didn't have time. He's just driven over 2 cars and then half over the third car. A triple fatality accident. When it came over the air, I thought, oh, thank goodness I've just moved away from that other station. I would have been the first one there. I don't have to go to this precinct, so I'm blessed. And just as I thought that, the phone rang. I picked it up, and it was the chief superintendent in charge of the whole area. He said, Mick, get in your car and get to that truck accident at Branxton right now, as fast as you can. And I thought, oh, great, fantastic. Well, I didn't manage to dodge a bullet at all. So I've jumped in my police car, put lights and sirens on, headed for this township, which is on the New England Highway, about 35-40 minutes away from where I was at that point in time. So pushing the limits of urgent duty runs, I was probably able to make it there in about 25 minutes, I suppose, 20 minutes, something like that. Anyway, when I pulled up, it's always horrible pulling up at these scenes because you don't know what you're going to see. Well, you do know what you're going to see, but you don't know how much worse it can get than the one you've already seen. Anyway, I got out, there's this massive Kenworth B-double, and then cars underneath it. And then I think about the third or fourth car along was a police vehicle that had been travelling through the area. They got involved somewhat, but not hurt that bad. Anyway, they got these big airbags, police rescue, got these big airbags, put them underneath the front of the truck, lifted the truck up over a period of hours this took, and pulled the cars out from underneath it. And obviously everyone is a bit interested as to how many people have been killed or how old they are, that type of thing. And I've walked up to this one car, which would have been the first in the line, the first that the truck had impacted and gone over. I've looked at the car and I did a transport check, a registration check on the radio, and it come up to a company I used to work for. And I thought, oh, that's strange. I wonder if I know this fellow. I went back and had another look at him, and he was just, his injuries were super graphic. There's no way you'd identify him just looking at him. So what we did later on, I never got involved in this process at that stage, but what we would do is we would identify him through tattoos, scars, fingerprints, and DNA. If you needed to, they were all your different options. Anyway, when they did identify him and the name come around, it was a fellow I used to work with. Very decent sort of fellow, nice family. We used to, it was an amusement device industry I used to work in. They built pinball machines, jukeboxes, poker machines, that type of thing. And I'd started off there with the premise of probably getting an apprenticeship as an electrician, but that didn't come off. But I had worked with this fellow going around collecting 20-cent pieces out of jukeboxes and pinball machines and that sort of thing. It was a full-time job going around all these different locations and cleaning the machines up a bit, getting all the coins out of them. And I'd worked with him a fair few times, and he'd invite me over for lunch because he used to go home for lunch every day. And so I got talking to him a fair bit and his family. And then I was there when he was killed. I wasn't actually there when he was killed, but I mean, I run into him again after I'd probably not seen him for 10 years. and he was one of the people involved in this accident and very badly disfigured as well. But he would have passed on impact. Yeah, terrible thing. Road crashes are so unnecessary. That's the thing. So unnecessary. And people don't get out of bed in the morning and go, what a great day. Today I'm going to die. They don't do that. They get out of bed and they think, today's another day and tomorrow's another day. And we're saving up for our holidays, or we're buying a new car, or looking forward to retirement, which is probably on this fellow's list. No, they don't do that. They get to work as normal, yeah. And then all of a sudden, in a matter of seconds, your life's over. Boom. So unnecessary. If people are paying attention to what they're doing, not speeding, not taking drugs or alcohol, not saying any of these things are involved in this particular one, because I believe it's probably just a whole heap of circumstances that lined up. The holes in the Swiss cheese line up. When they line up, bad things happen, and sometimes no one's to blame and everyone's to blame, if you know what I mean. The truck driver was just so distraught he couldn't speak, he could hardly breathe. The paramedics gave him a sedative to help him out. He was a really decent fellow who just made a bad move, bit of lack of attention, maybe looking at his CB radio or looking at his mobile phone if they were around in those days. Something distracted him. When he looked up, the traffic stopped and he was going about 80 kilometres an hour. So he hasn't even hit the brakes, he's just hit the vehicles. He ended up getting a jail sentence, which no doubt destroyed his life. So your life can change in a matter of seconds just because of a lack of attentiveness on doing what you're doing, playing with your mobile phone, playing with your Apple Play, doing all these things instead of driving. And your whole life can just change. You can get killed, or you can be turned into a quadriplegic, or you could kill other people to turn them into quadriplegics. Driving is serious stuff, and you should put your whole focus on what you're doing and put those other things aside. Now, I know it's okay for me to say this because I've worked in a police car with all these other distractions that I've been playing with, but I never thought it was a good idea. I always thought you should have a passenger with you at all times to operate all the gear, not trying to use radars and drive a police vehicle and listen to the radio and all the things you have to do. I never thought that was a great idea. But yeah, people don't realise, like if you're driving along and everyone's done this, you're driving along and you just don't see a stop sign. You go through a stop sign. Now, how many times have you done that, or driven through a red light, not noticing it wasn't green? I know I've done both those things. And if you collect someone on the way through, going through a red light or going through a stop sign, the person dies, or if they're seriously injured, you could be charged with negligent driving caused death, negligent driving caused grievous bodily harm, and then there's a very good chance you go into jail. At best, you've really stuffed your whole life up, because you're going to need a lawyer, and lawyers cost tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then you may go to jail. If you go to jail, who's going to pay your house payments? Who's going to look after your wife and kids? All these things happen in a matter of seconds. So it's really important when you're driving that you focus all your attention on driving. Be proactive, be ready for anything that can come up. It's certainly not nice seeing people killed at crashes. Trust me, I've seen far, far too many. And so unnecessary. One day we'll have driverless cars that won't have accidents, and our serious injuries and our fatal accidents will be a thing of the past. and our children's children will laugh at the fact that we used to drive cars. The future will reduce the road toll. We're driving the best cars possible now, on the best roads we probably ever have, and with the extended P-licence education, we've probably got the best drivers on the road, or supposedly the best drivers that we can turn out. So everything's going our way, except if you happen to just drift away for a few seconds or fall asleep because you're tired, then all of a sudden all these other things come into play. The holes in the Swiss cheese line up, and the next thing you know, you could be going to jail. So keep that in mind when you're driving. Don't become another statistic. It's not worth it. If you get anything out of my videos, please like and subscribe. If you want to email me, my address is thelongwayh@gmail.com. And thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.